Diamonds in the rough. NFL Draft Diamonds. Time to shine.
Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds. And here with me today, I have one of these diamonds in the rough. His name is Brayden Thimons. He's a defensive end out of Westminster. How you doing today, buddy?
Good, Jimmy. Thanks for having me on here.
So yeah, Westminster, PA, Division III school there, and you had yourself a really great career there, All-American a couple times over, and a lot of great success. But before we get talking about all that, tell me where you're from and walk me through your journey a little bit about how you got there.
Okay. So I went to Highlands High School, located in Sherona Heights. It's about 20 minutes north of Pittsburgh. Played all 4 years, basketball, football, and baseball. Was a 2-year captain, all 3 sports, my junior and my senior year. Obviously, whenever I really decided my junior year that football was going to be the path that I was going to start going into. I started with my first offer from Robert Morris University that came actually baseball season in my junior year. Following after that, just a couple small Division I schools followed in after that. What really made me decide to go to Robert Morris was the whole coaching staff, the environment. They weren't the greatest team, but really trying to turn the program around and wanted to get it started with some good recruits. Obviously, like I said, finished out my junior and senior year, committed to play at Robert Morris, signed, ended up going there, started the last 5 games of my freshman year at inside linebacker. Had a rough year a little bit with coaching, record-wise. Coaching staff completely got wiped out, brought in a whole new group of guys. Those guys came in, and that spring, I was a little bit heavier, probably pushing 240, 245. And we lost a couple guys with some eligibility stuff, and they asked me if I'd start playing defensive end. A little bit uncomfortable. I played linebacker my entire life, wasn't really, a hand in the dirt kind of guy. But I ended up played all spring ball with it. I really enjoyed it. Went into my sophomore season, started all 10 games, and led the Colonials in sacks that season. After that, I just needed a new environment, decided to transfer. Like we were talking about, my brother was deciding to play college football at that point, and he was getting recruited real heavily by Westminster. I had sort of a relationship whenever I was still in high school with a couple of the guys here at Westminster as the coaching staff. But him ultimately deciding to come here, and then my best friend who also decided to transfer from Robert Morris right before I did came to Westminster also. So really, I opened my recruiting up, but I kind of knew where I was going to go ultimately.
Right. Well, obviously it really worked out for you. Obviously Robert Morris, they really wanted you. They brought you in and kind of got to a situation where they really needed to try and move you around a little bit, and maybe didn't work there at first. Took a little while for you to learn that position, and then eventually, actually once you got to Westminster, man, it seemed like you got that position down. To just kind of look at some of these things that you've been able to accomplish. 2-time defensive player of the year for your conference, 2-time Cliff Harris Award finalist, and All-American debut, man. So congrats on a great career there.
Thank you.
Talk to me about Westminster, because again, it's a Division III school. Maybe not a lot of people know about it. But what makes that place so special to you?
So Westminster has a really deep lineage and a lot of things. There was, I think, it's 6 national champions here at Westminster. So they've had success in the past, and leading up to Coach Benzel, who's the coach now, they kind of got a little bit stagnant. They weren't really too great. He came in first couple of years, they obviously struggled, but it's completely turned the program around. And then my first year coming here was the first year that we've actually won the PAC championship. So we did that my second season. We went back-to-back conference champions. But, it's just the alumni and the environment here is just completely different, and something that it needs to be experienced for sure. A lot of people really say that, but we have people that will set up tents and mark off their areas outside the stadium on Tuesdays when we play on Saturdays. So it's a big deal for everyone in the area.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, dude, you get your locals that are diehard fans. You got to love those people. I mean, they really make the event very special. What about as a student? I mean, again, I know you were at Robert Morris and then you transferred. I mean, so I'm assuming somewhere along the line you obtained at least one degree. Can you talk to me about what you've been able to do as a student?
So I am studying marketing and professional sales with a minor in business management. Going into this last year, that's what I'll finish up with all that. Robert Morris was more of like a business school like that, Westminster being a liberal college. It was definitely it was like a huge adjustment for me. But, once you get used to it and, the first semester where you have to take the different sciences and, your religion and stuff like that, it was different, but, it's kind of nice to have just a little bit of a change up in your schedule.
So, what do you feel was like your most difficult class that you always had that you had to get done during your time?
Spanish for sure. It's our professors from the jump, they are completely speaking Spanish here, full on Spanish. You have to take 3 different classes, and as you go up, obviously it continues to get harder. But you walk in there that first time with very little Spanish experience, and your professor is just talking full on Spanish. You're expected to figure out and continue moving on with it. I thought it was super cool until you take your first test and you don't really know anything compared to what you think you do.
No, man, learning a new language is definitely not easy. I know that firsthand. So, Brayden, let's go ahead and talk a little bit of some football. Again, very prolific career there, but just kind of want to talk about your guys' defense. Can you kind of describe your guys' defense? And again, you talked about being a linebacker and then coming over and then truly embracing that role as an edge rusher. But can you just describe that defense for us?
So we run a multiple defense. It's an NFL defense. In a 30, and obviously in our 34 front, I would play an outside linebacker. And then when we drop down to our 4 front, I would play the defensive end. It was just a lot of different schemes and a lot of different ways to move stuff around. Luckily, with certain training and stuff like that, I was able to play out in coverage in a lot of space in a lot of situations. This year, a little bit more than last year, I played actually a lot of linebacker compared to last season. Just helping out in coverage. We were pretty solid up front. We had some guys. We were deep across the board. So I was able to play where I have to cover hot to flat, or covering backside of the backfield. But it was really, the fun point of the game and getting to what I do best was, third downs where I get to pin my ears back and really go get the quarterback.
So, obviously, you're a prospect in this upcoming draft. And you talked a little bit about doing a whole lot of things. Do you feel like that's what separates you as a prospect, that being your versatility, maybe your ability to play that linebacker spot, drop into coverage when needed? Can you kind of talk about what you feel are your best attributes?
So in that aspect, I'd really say there's 2 things that kind of it's a real overview of my game. Number one is I'm an extension of the coaching staff on the field. I know the playbook like the back of my hand. You know what I mean? That's something that coming into it, I feel that even as a defensive lineman, knowing what corners and safeties have to do completely will dictate what type of rush and stuff like that I have. But other than that, just playing fast and physical and just taking things personally in my way. It's a one-on-one battle at all times. So not letting somebody beat you ever is just something that goes into every single play for me.
Nice. So, and then of course, dude, that also leads to you being a team captain, of which you've been a team captain for a couple seasons. Is there anything more that maybe you could share about what it means to you to be a team captain and your own personal leadership skills that you've been able to utilize?
Yeah, I mean it's been something that's been huge throughout my entire life. I've always been someone that people have had the opportunity to look up to, and I feel like I've always done my best to try and be there for everybody and help out what's needed. Um, I never really in high school I was a little bit of a vocal leader, not to an extent, but I get to college and whenever I was came in as a freshman at Robert Morris, a lot of the seniors took me into the different style of leadership that you really need in college. You don't need someone screaming in your face, yelling at you all the time. You need somebody who is just there really to pick you up and kind of explain stuff in an 18 to 22-year-old's brain the way they would understand. Um, but it was huge whenever before every game here at Westminster in our stretch lines, Coach Benzel would come through and he would pick out our four captains in front of everybody. You hear your number called and it's a huge honor. Everybody gets hyped for you. It's a good experience. It's definitely a good feeling.
Awesome. So obviously, with them picking out a few other guys there at Westminster, who do we need to know that's at Westminster, man? You're leaving the pack there, so I mean, who's going to be left behind to carry the torch into the next season and beyond? Give me a couple names real quick.
Yeah, so obviously, like I stated earlier, my little brother still has one more year of eligibility. He actually started halfway through the season last year. Great player on the edge, physical, same way, just fast and long. And then there's a lot of guys in our secondary that are coming back. We have a corner named Kevin Wright. He's 6'2", 200 pounds, is 100% legit. A strong safety in Bryce Butler, another young guy who came in and stepped up immediately for us. He's on pace to be for his junior year to break the pick six record here at Westminster.
Nice. Love that, man. Got to give a shout out to the people that are still there, and hopefully they'll continue that trend of really having a very dominant defense. So, Brayden, obviously after a stellar career there at Westminster, you were invited to the College Gridiron Showcase down in Fort Worth, Texas. So tell me just a little bit about that experience, if you don't mind. I mean, maybe some of the activities, the practices, the scrimmages, and some of the things that you were a part of.
Yeah, so I was selected to be a part of the Small College Showcase. Excuse me. So we get down there Friday. We just had normal practices, meetings, and stuff like that leading up to a scrimmage on Sunday. I had no intentions and no idea that you could be called up or be moved up to the College Gridiron Showcase. So leading into it, I'm just doing my own thing, going to practice, doing whatever it is. And finally, the night before our scrimmage, we go in as a team meeting, and they kind of lay it on us, that last year there was a guy in the Small College Showcase who ended up getting drafted this year. There was also, they take 10 to 12 guys and over the last 5 years, and they move them up into the College Gridiron Showcase. So, it gets in your head, but, as a player, stuff like that never crosses my mind. I just continue just doing what I do. So I go out there on Sunday. We play our scrimmage, played well, mixed well with a lot of my teammates. And I think that really what pushed me forward was just being vocal and, getting people lined up and doing all the little things that, we take pride on here at Westminster. But so after the scrimmage concludes, everybody gets in a huddle, and they brought every single scout. They had all 32 teams, CFL, all the leagues all there, and brought them together to pick 12 guys to move up to the Small College or the College Gridiron Showcase. I was one of the 12 people that got selected, moved into the hotel, and did that whole thing for the rest of the week.
Awesome, man. Well, obviously, there's a lot of scouts that really like you and really think that you have some potential at the next level. So here soon we'll see where you'll get that opportunity, but definitely excited for you moving forward. Brayden, obviously, dude, you're a legit prospect in the NFL. Just really quick, what does that mean to you when you say those words? Like, when that comes out of your mouth or when someone says it, like, have you been able to wrap your mind around it?
Truthfully, no. it's one of those things where, you have conversations with people. It's still crazy to hear somebody else say it. But truthfully, right now, just all the training sessions and just everything, all the work that I'm putting in, it's all for that. It would be a huge honor to be selected to play in the NFL. But I think as of right now, it's still not fully real for me. I think as we get closer, especially after my pro day, I think that's whenever it'll really sink in and hit me that, we're here and it's time to go.
Well, I mean, as of right now, I mean, you got a lot going for you. I mean, you got some, decent size to you, almost 6'4", 250 pounds. And, you go out there to the Gridiron Showcase and really showcase your talent and do very well. So you're in position, man. I mean, we'll see what happens. When you do look at the entirety of your career, including the Gridiron Showcase, what's going to stick out the most for you? What are maybe some of the biggest highlights or moments that you want to share? Give me maybe one of them, if it's a game or even a play.
I would probably say my one of the best moments for me in my college career, and truthfully, my entire football career was, finally seeing my little brother. So just kind of a backstory. My brother, whenever we were in high school, I was the starting quarterback of our football team, and he played offensive guard. He's 2 years younger than me. So, just getting into college and stuff like that, finally being able to play on the same side of the ball, for the same goal. He, his first sack to me was one of the coolest things that I could see for myself. You're out there with your family playing against somebody else, and who else better to get a sack next to you than your little brother.
Awesome. Well, I mean, definitely when you are able to be on the same team as him and, really just kind of witness other people, have some great success as well. I mean, dude, I mean, it's an awesome feeling. So awesome to hear that. Brayden, let's shift gears. Talk to me for just a couple minutes about something that's not football. Tell me something about you that maybe not everybody knows, something interesting, fun, or what have you. Maybe it's a hobby or a passion in your life that you want to share. So give me something.
I'd probably say something that people wouldn't know is, I enjoy reading a lot. Anything from, realistic books to, I just started the Game of Thrones books recently. So just going through all that. And then also I'm a super mega fan of professional wrestling. I've been since I was a little kid. Usually our summers entail us going to different local and small promotion of wrestling, just my family.
Nice. Favorite wrestler?
Triple H of all time. Easy.
Awesome. Well, I had to throw that way because I've figured if you're a fan that would be fun. But let's see. You said that you're a big reader and you're currently trying to go through the Game of Thrones stuff. So did you watch the series first, and are you now picking up the books, or is that kind of how that went?
Yeah, I watched the show first, and then I really dug into it and started reading when the House of Dragons came out. I started the Fire and Blood book. So once I finished that, I realized, now I have to go through the whole entire book series from start to finish. And been on the first book, actually watching the show after I get through. I'll read 4 to 5 chapters and then jump on the show to catch up to where I'm at in the book.
Yeah, man, when you get into a book series, you're committed. You're committed,
Yeah.
and you're just going to keep reading until your eyes fall out or something. So definitely understand that.
Yeah, there's times where my roommates will walk in, just check in my room, and I'll just be laying there, one light on, just reading a book. Everybody, cracking jokes, making fun of me.
Wow. So if you say that you're an avid reader, like, do you have a favorite book, like, of all time, or what?
I actually read Relentless over the summer. Just talking about, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Dwayne Wade, and their training habits, and what type of athlete you really are. And I think that kind of opened my eyes going into the season, really trying to dial that in for myself. Who really taking a good look in the mirror and deciding, like, who are you and what are your goals? What do you need to do in order to get that job done? And I think that book really, really helped me out with that.
Awesome, man. Well, great to hear. I mean, obviously, you got a lot going on right now. You're training, looking forward to your pro day so that you can continue to impress some scouts. But let's go ahead and wrap up our time, if you don't mind. I mean, let's talk to those scouts directly. So, I mean, I want you to go ahead, look in that camera, and tell all those professional scouts out there why they need to take on a chance on you and bring you into their franchise. So go ahead and hit them with your pitch.
To all the scouts out there, my name is Brayden Thimons. I'm a 6'4", 250-pound outside linebacker DN hybrid. If you're looking for someone that's going to change the entire aspect of a game, someone that's going to play fast, physical, and just nasty, I'm your type of person. I'm not the person that is going to go out and be nice on the football field. Outside of the football field, I'll be your best friend, and I'll go out and I'll be a great representation of your program or your organization. But other than that, you're looking at someone who's a leader and someone who's going to make sure that the guys around him are flying around on all cylinders, the same as he is.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds as if, like, dude, that's seriously one of the best things you bring to the table, and that being your leadership. So, you do get a guy with some good size who can do a lot of different things. Obviously, very successful pass rusher, but can also drop back into coverage and be a solid locker room guy, man. Like, I can't stress that enough. I mean, having guys like that certainly helps a locker room, man. But Brayden, do wish you best of luck in this process. It could be a grind, but I know you'll get through it and get your opportunity. All right.
Thank you. I really do appreciate you and everything you do for all the guys.
Sure, man. Once again, Brayden Thimons, he's a defensive end out of Westminster. Definitely check him out.